I just finished watching a show on Netflix called Clickbait, and the only way that I can talk about this show and what's interesting about it, and what I think is worthwhile about it for those who may be interested in watching it, the only way I can talk about it is to give away certain spoilers. So for those who want to watch it spoiler free, then don't watch any further. But I do recommend it. I do recommend watching it. Just whether you see the rest of this video and you hear my reasons given for why I think it's interesting and worth watching, or whether you watch it yourself and maybe pick up on this fact yourself on your own, whichever way you want to do it. All right. Anyway, spoiler alert having been duly given, let me talk about what's so interesting about this show. The plot of Clickbait is that a man gets kidnapped and held for ransom. Essentially, he is held. Well, not for ransom. That's not the right way of putting it. What happens is he disappears, and then he shows up on somebody's website holding up a sign which says "I abuse women," and then later he's holding a sign his face looks bloodied, and he's holding up another sign which reads, "I'm responsible for a woman's death," or "I killed a woman." So this guy is somebody who works in a fitness center and works with a college volleyball team, and all these kinds of rumors start to fly about him, and his family is devastated not only by the fact that he's been taken away, but by what's being said about him. And women come out from various dating sites saying that that he had come on to them and that they had an affair with him. And so basically his reputation gets completely dragged through the mud, and he winds up being found dead. But after his death, his family really doesn't know what to think of him anymore, because they believe that he obviously must have been doing some really bad things to women particularly. So he's not around anymore to defend himself, of course. So he dies with all this ignominious attention having been given to him, even though he's the victim of a kidnapping and a murder. So, interestingly, it turns out that, and you have to watch to the end to find this out, but it turns out in the end that this man is utterly blameless. He was always faithful to his wife. He led, in spite of being a good-looking guy, there's no record or evidence that he ever was unfaithful to his wife, or that he was ever with any other woman after he married his wife. His wife was once unfaithful to him, but he was never unfaithful to her. And all this comes out in the end through a couple of twists and turns in the plot. It's a little bit of a bait and switch kind of thing. They do keep you guessing. There is somebody who appears to be the culprit, who appears to be the one who had taken on his identity online and was pretending to be him, but then it turns out to be somebody else, and the somebody else that it turns out to be is somebody even who seems even less likely to have been anyone to have perpetrated such a scheme. And moreover, it's a woman. So ultimately, a woman is the one who has assumed this guy's identity and who is flirting with other women online just because she likes the attention. She's the one who eventually pushes one rather unstable woman to commit suicide by what she says online, again, pretending to be this guy. So ultimately, this guy is totally innocent. So what we have in this show is a portrayal of how a man can so easily lose his reputation, how it's so easy, even for those who know him best, those in his own family, his own sister who loves him, his wife, his own children, how they all can just turn against him just because of what's being said and because of the way that it's been made to appear. And in a way, of course, this is just a general indictment of social media culture, but I think in a more specific sense, this series acts as an indictment of the assumption of male guilt, particularly perhaps if that man is good looking and white. I mean, I know it sounds like a really strange sort of message to be putting out on Netflix of all places, but I suppose that even Netflix, even a propaganda outlet like Netflix, and I think there are good things. Netflix has made some good shows, like Stranger Things and others. But I know, I'm not blind to the fact that they have an agenda, generally speaking, like most of the media outlets that we have. But I just think it's pretty wild and pretty extraordinary that this show bucks the trend of what we would expect the message to be. Now, purists will find certain things not to like about it. For example, the man is in a mixed marriage. He's a white guy. His wife is black. Their kids are mixed. So if that's going to be if that's going to turn you off to the rest of what's in the show, then I guess that's your thing. But I still find ultimately what the show has to say, what it suggests, or more than suggests, about contemporary social media culture and the immediate suspicion of men I still think it's worth noting and worth talking about and worth sharing and worth watching. So if you've watched all of this, you know what the spoilers are, but I still recommend, if you have access to it, that you watch the Netflix show Clickbait and see what you think, and let me know what you think. If you have seen it and you take issue with anything that I've said, let me know, or if you agree with me also, I'd be interested to hear from you as well. Thanks for watching. My name's Andy Nowicki. Check out my work at altrightnovelist.com. My latest book, The Insurrectionist, can be found at terrorhousepress.com.